bit confusing. It's a little bit hard until you get your mind around, the different features and capabilities of, where to find different parameters on the UI. So, the first time you do it, you're not going to go through it as quickly as Michael just did there. But the idea that we can, do some of these steps now, or you can take this video and walk it through step by step. I think by the time you've done that, you will have a pretty good sense. Look at all the different things he just taught you to go through: how to deal with the connections, how to deal with filters, how to deal with highlighting a row, how to deal with text pop-ups on a row. And he's just accomplished an awful lot, even though it does take a few clicks.
I hope I didn't intimidate people or scare people away by going through that, but I do think it's helpful to see sort of a little more complication, just because I think we've kept just to see something a little more detailed. Okay, so let's go ahead and break out into 2 rooms again. And the reason we're going to do that is just to help you guys build this. So I know we're not all going to have success and we'll have some issues here, but I think going through this process for the last 20 minutes will be beneficial for everybody. And then we'll come back and say our goodbyes and keep in touch here. So with that, let's go ahead and create 2 rooms, and then I'm going to assign people. Right. Yeah. Great. All right. Cool. Hey guys. Right. So this should be fun. A little more, few more steps and less people, so more time for everybody. So yeah, let's get things kicked off. Why don't we just start with you, Tyler, and then we'll go around the horn.
Should I introduce myself or share my screen, Michael?
Yeah, if you could share your screen, that'd be great. And also, can you move your mic a little closer? I'm just having a little hard time hearing you.
Is it quiet? Sorry.
Yeah, that's a little better.
So
yeah, first step is going to be downloading the data, and we'll load it up basically. So if you can share your screen.
I'm not sure why it's not letting me for some reason.
You should be able to share. Do you see a share button?
Right. I don't know why it's not. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's not working.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do a pass part here and jump over to Dick, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen for the crew. All right. Okay. He's on it. So you have loaded up the data for power. Let's just make sure people are there. Stephanie, Ryan, Eric, Tyler, are you guys there with the data loaded? Yep. Okay, great. So let's start to order the information. So what we're going to do is change the chart type first. And yep, exactly.
Scatter plot.
Do a scatter plot, which gives you essentially the most flexibility. So on the width axis, we're putting the date and time, which is a timeline. So there's a checkbox right underneath it, and you can format it how you like. So we can leave it like that for now. Yep. And then the height column is adjusted capacity. And basically that's the total megawatts. Now we could do something where it's just like percentages and other things, but this shows the running total sum. Yeah. And then the depth axis is fuel type. All right. Awesome. And is everyone there? So let's actually switch over to Stephanie. You are ready. Thank you, Dick.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Great.
Okay, I did this earlier, but it didn't like save for some reason. So what was the height?
I think it was adjusted capacity, which
Okay.
is megawatts. Yep. Great. And then the one thing, so I don't know if you can see this, but, and it also probably loaded super slow for you. The reason why is that on date time, right now we don't have the checkbox that says access is timeline checked. And if it's not checked, then it's basically going to think every value is a unique categorical variable, sort of like someone's name. And you basically have hundreds of different categories on that date time axis line. So yeah, keeping it as a timeline will, one, make it move much faster, but it's one of those things that if things are running super slow, check for that. That's often the case. And then on the depth axis, let's change that to fuel type, which is, you're gonna need to check the depth axis. There you go. Yep, and then fuel type. Perfect. All right, and so from here, let's go ahead and first adjust the colors so that each different fuel type has its own color. And so to do that, yes, we're going to change it to color scheme. Got it. And yeah, you can change it or recolor it based on fuel type. Yep. Color works too, but that's just the defined fields. Data set. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So now we have color, and let's go ahead and add connection lines.
Where's that? Isn't that up
You're close. It's up towards the top. Yep.
There it is. Okay.
There you go. Yep. And for this, we're just going to do, it's actually not connecting. So where it says connect dots when column values match, we're going to change that one actually to axis or map, because all we really want is basically this line that goes down to the axis as opposed to elsewhere. Great. Okay, and then one last step here. If you can click back on the swarm, yep, and scroll down just a little bit. So I just want to call out, and this might be an error in the data here, but you'll notice the height range goes from -60 up to that value. Now, often the case is that you have like everything positive values, and it doesn't by default go to 0. And typically for visualizations, you want the y-axis especially to be 0. So I often just very much encourage people to take a look at those, make sure they're right, because yeah, that's what's setting it to 0. Cool. So we are all set there. Thanks, Stephanie. So let's switch over to Ryan.
Sorry.
Okay.
I lost my Zoom window.
Here, I can
Can you? Yeah.
manually stop. Get you to.
Where did it? Oh, there it is. I
All
just found it. All right.
I see mine now.
Nice. Sweet. All right, so let's set up the other swarm, which basically shows the 100% mark. So to do that, we're going to select swarm 1. You got it. And then we're going to click on duplicate, which is not on the step, but actually in the top right-hand corner is a duplicate. And that's also where you can delete objects. Yeah. So now we've duplicated the swarm and we have it selected. And it's just right on top of it. And all we need to do is change the height from adjusted capacity to capacity, which is just the top number basically. So now we've set up that top line. Now I'm gonna let you struggle here for just a second, Ryan, to see if we can figure out where to turn off the axes for this swarm that we just made, since it's duplicative of the other. Almost. So what you're changing are the which values to show,
Right.
and ultimately we need sort of additional options for the axes. And so if we scroll down a little further, towards the bottom, you'll see an axes options section. There you go. Yep. And so, yep. Perfect. And just so people can see this, can you click on show axis height again? And then you'll notice that there's these front and right orient axis. If you can click on those, I just want people to see what it does. So it basically moves the axes. So if you don't want it in the back left and instead want it elsewhere, you can use those buttons to do that. And there's one other thing I just want to show people. So let's uncheck the show height. Actually, no, we'll skip it. I'm not going to do that. Okay, cool. Great. So we are set up. Let's switch over to Eric.
Okay, I didn't get the lines in, so.
Okay. So what we need to do is change adjusted capacity on the vertical, or sorry, the height axis, and change that to capacity. So it's basically just swapping out the
Okay.
y-axis that we're showing. Great.
Got
So let's go ahead and add a step, and we are going to basically start animating this. Actually, yeah.
Duplicate or blank?
Actually, can you X that out? I misspoke. Let's actually stay on this step. And what we're going to do is on the very first swarm, if you can select the first swarm, perfect. What we're going to do is add a filter. So let's add a filter, or actually two filters. So we're going to create a filter by clicking create a filter. You got it. And we're going to filter the day, I think it was less than 11. Yeah, because you're going to want to switch it from greater than to less than. Perfect. And then sort of pop quiz question here. Can anyone explain why we're seeing this across the whole axis as opposed to just the small portion? Yep, you got it, Eric. So that's the right. Yep, so it's that button controls the, if you want the axis to filter and like expand out or stay static. So important button to know. Cool, and then we're gonna add one additional filter. And on this filter, it's a little trickier, and this is changing. You have to actually click is greater than first and change that to contains. Yep, and then we're gonna type in then we select the column of fuel type. So obviously you guys notice that the logic here is a little backwards, and so that's being changed, but just so you're aware of how to do this, adding search or filters by categorical variables. And so then in this, we're going to filter to look just at what contains the word total. So I can type in total there. Perfect.
Okay, so I have an or.
Right, then that's why we're seeing everything. You guys, yeah, perfect. So yeah, you need the and logic to get that to work. Perfect. Cool. Nice, Eric. And then we could apply the filters to the other one too. I'm just going to skip that for time's sake, but I think that hopefully makes sense. Cool. So let's jump back up to the top, or actually circle to Tyler. Tyler, are you able to share now, or if not, we can jump over you. Nope.
I have no, like I have my flow up. It's just the share is not working. I don't know why.
Oh, good.
Sorry,
looks like you're
guys.
missing. You're in a or statement as opposed to an and statement for the filter.
My bad.
Okay, so Dick, let's have you or just about close us out here. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll add a step. And we'll duplicate that step. And then on this, or how I was presenting is to delete basically the filter on fuel type so that we can see the percentage breakdown from each of these on the 11. Yep, there we go. Or sorry, it was deleting the other one. So you can just switch this one from fuel type to less than. And I think what you have to do is actually select, yeah, you got it.
What was this one?
I think this was day less than 11.
Oh, that's right.
There we go. Cool. And so then let's add one last step. Perfect. And then we'll just delete the filter on this one. Great. And so now if you go back to step 1 and just sort of click through, let's see what we got. So we start out with just, total capacity, and we can add labels and stuff like that. So say 108 megawatt or gigawatts. Then we show the breakdown of, okay, well, this is made up of these component parts that make up that total capacity. And then we animate that through over time. And we could stop it. I stopped I think 2 times. So one right before the event and then during and after. So you could break up the time series that way as well by adding some additional steps and filters there. And then let's, why don't we do one final touch here, which is just to add some interaction. I'll let you decide if you'd like to either have some on select text pop up or highlights, your choice. All right, and we're going to highlights, like it. So here we can, yeah, so fuel type's the thing I highlighted. Obviously, it's depending on what you're trying to focus on, but these highlights work in multi-user as well, so it's really helpful to guide people towards what you want them to look at. And there we go. So now we've built something time series, and yeah, showing it this way. I'm going to do one last thing here, just with this group for it to be special. If you click on step details, and then go to the 3 dots in the top right, and we're going to need to click advanced. So this is hidden under advanced, which is at the very bottom of that drop down. And it just opens up some fields that are hidden. And the reason I want to point this out is that I find it very helpful and useful is the animation duration to next step. You have that as a, like 5 seconds, or around 5 seconds, I find to be like slow enough you can really follow it. You can slow that down as much as you like, but I think that works better, at least to me, than sort of these very quick animations. And so you can play around with those. And then to that other point of how it animates, Dick, do you remember what we covered towards the beginning regarding connection lines and showing connection lines through the animation? And so basically what we'll have to do is click on connections. We actually have connections defined already, so you can just click straight onto the connection in the timeline over on the left, so that basically the bar right underneath where you currently selected. Perfect. Yep. So this is the connection object, and yeah, exactly. The animate perspective change button is by default off, and by turning it on, it will then show up through all these steps. So yeah, anyway, time series and stacked charts basically is what we went through here. And I can go into more detail with any of you guys on how to aggregate the data and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, if you'd like. But with that, let me actually switch over and close these rooms so that we can come back together. Close all rooms. There we go.
Thanks, Michael.
I'll finish my sentence by selecting the miss. You can tell what color you want the non-selected dots to show up as, and that's how you can really make your point of the view. So we got through. Thank you, Nathan. You actually nailed that really pretty smoothly.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you guys have made it through an incredible 4 hours of misery. Just kidding. Hopefully it was fun and enjoyable and educational. Really, really do appreciate you guys getting in, recognizing that you're experiencing the most bugs of all the groups basically, and that can be frustrating to deal with. So really appreciate you guys' patience and sticking with it. We're always here and want to see you guys be successful. So please do reach out, stay active on our Slack channel. JG, you're currently the king of our Slack channel, so thank you for your reigning king. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys all. And Jason, do you have any final parting words of wisdom?
Oh, just, I started this 4-hour block talking about the tribe that you guys have all been forced to become members of. So, thank you for your support. We really cannot say enough how much it means to us to learn from each and every one of you and how you might use the tool. We can't wait to see you figure out how you can change the world a little bit by doing some great data storytelling.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else like to say anything before we close up? Otherwise, it really has been a pleasure, guys.
Thank you, Michael, Jason.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. We will send out emails and videos, etc. Bye.
See you soon.
Thank you.